certainly I'm enjoying it today and the past few days.
Is there anything an ambassador can really change or influence in a country? What are the limitations to your role?
In terms of kind of what you can do, I think one something powerful is kind of you could change perceptions. So, and that's one of the reasons why I want to travel more outside of Bratislava and meet people is, people might have a certain perception of the UK, of the UK embassy, of me as a person, as ambassador, but being able to kind of meet people to face, without any agenda, just to kind of meet them and find out more about them and their lives and their priorities and learn more about me. I think that's really important. So I think that's one of the most powerful tools is kind of changing perceptions and being able to have discussion, and we'll maybe have some questions and answers as well. Of course, there are limitations as well, and as diplomats, we are politically impartial. So when we serve anywhere, we are there to represent the interests of our country, and to kind of depending on the situation, work bilaterally with the host country to strengthen that relationship. And in some countries that's more challenging than others. But I think in Slovakia, I'm very positive and optimistic about what we can do with the with Slovakia as a whole. But we are here as kind of I'm here as a UK ambassador, so we work with kind of all communities and parties here in Slovakia.
And now it's time for Q&A. Are there any questions from the audience? Van-e valakinek kérdése a nagykövet úrhoz, akár magyarul, akár angolul, akár szlovákul? Yeah, there are a couple of questions I can see.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like to ask that my question is regarding to a possible war with Russia versus the European Union or Europe as well, because I read several articles in the British media in the past, and there are dozens of articles about that are discussing a possible physical war between Russia and the whole Europe. Are these articles some kind of a justifications of possible of defense spendings from the governments, or do you think it's a real possibility that war can erupt between Russia and the European states?
Thank you. And I haven't read the articles you were referring to, so I'll be interested in reading them. I mean, what I would say in response to that is, we are already in a grey zone in terms of the hybrid threat coming from Russia and from other actors in terms of attacks on whether it's kind of cyber attacks, whether it's sabotage, misinformation, disinformation. So I think how you define the threat and how you define kind of warfare is evolving. But it's a difficult question to answer because it's quite hypothetical. Of course, we don't want that to happen. The whole point of the NATO alliance is it's a defensive alliance, is to stop war, and I'm convinced of that. I think that's why it's really important that we have peace in Ukraine, but it's a sustainable and lasting peace that enables the Ukrainian people to be able to defend themselves, and there's not a repeat of what happened in 2014, in 2022. But I think that we are committed to. We've seen the threat in Ukraine, and that's why together with other allies, we are stepping up our defense spending.
And any prevention could be done? I mean, what measures would be most suitable to prevent such things from happening?
Um, and could you expand a bit?
I'm just expanding on the question of my colleague that a real war could take place. What are the measures that seem to be the best to prevent such a conflict?
Yeah, I think deterrence is very important. I think being able to kind of demonstrate allied unity, like we did at Ankara, that we are kind of stepping up our defense spending, our defense investment, the defense industry will be able to be equipped to kind of deal with any eventuality, I think is really key. So kind of, I think deterrence is kind of a key component, ingredient of prevention.
Volt még egy kérdés.
So thank you. My question, I'm a Hungarian citizen, so I can have this question that referring back to your conversation, the beginning of your conversation according to the Hungarian minority. That is the Beneš decrees. What is the British, how can I say, what is the British opinion about, not opinion, what is the British idea of the Beneš decrees, or can have the British state any effect on the Slovak state to withdraw this I think this law?
Okay. I mean, the Beneš decrees. I mean, first thing to say is, I'm aware that it's a sensitive topic, so it's I want to acknowledge it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. I think in terms of our position, we're very clear. It's a position for for the governments to discuss, and I know that there was discussions between the new Prime Minister in Hungary and the Prime Minister here, and maybe they discuss this topic. So it's not an issue for the UK to kind of set out our position, but all I would say is I acknowledge it's a sensitive issue.
Köszönjük szépen. Van-e még valakinek kérdése? Igen? Gyere közelebb, kell.
So I have a question about the war in Ukraine. So what do you think is the current state of the war, of this conflict? Who do you think has the upper hand right now? Because I have heard there were bombings in Moscow, in Chelyabinsk. That's my question.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, obviously, I'm seeing similar reports that you are about you. I'm not kind of in Ukraine at the moment, but certainly it seems as if Ukraine has momentum at the moment. And you mentioned their ability to reach kind of certain targets in Russia that are key to supporting and funding Putin's war, including on kind of energy and oil plants as well. So I think Ukraine does have momentum, and I think that's quite important in putting the Ukrainian people in a strong position for negotiations on reaching a peace agreement. So I think obviously in the battlefield it's more complex because we now have drone warfare as well, which I think is increasingly complicating the situation. So I think Ukraine does have a momentum, but I kind of go back to the point about human lives are affected by this, and in Kiev I still have colleagues and friends living and working there who are at the same time as well kind of facing sleepless nights from drone and hypersonic missile attacks that the air defense system is not always able to intercept. So human lives are being affected by this war as well. So, I make that kind of point, overall point, that Ukraine has a momentum, while also recognizing that this illegal, this terrible war is also having an impact on citizens as well.
Van-e még kérdés? Ha nincs, akkor megköszönöm önöknek, hogy eljöttek, megköszönöm nézőinknek, hogy velünk voltak, és megköszönöm az Egyesült Királyság pozsonyi nagykövetének is, hogy elfogadta meghívásunkat. Bilal Zahidot látták és hallották. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much.